to folks being happy as being sad. I'd rather see someone with a smile on their face than sad. And as I said, you know, just a victim of circumstances that I did try to help a guy, and that in the results, you know, I ended up going to prison.
In prison, what is the life like? Most of the inmates I know are younger than you are. How do they react to you? The name Bob Hayes and the fact that you are their senior a little bit.
Well, you know, I'm about basically the older guy on the farm, and those guys, the little boy, they respect me very highly. And, of course, during this part of the year, the season's going on, all the eyes are on me because, you know, thanks to you, thanks to Tom, all you guys, my name come up quite a bit. And that this gives those guys I lift, you know. Plus, I work with them every day in the gym, you know, giving them, you know, teaching them different games, racquetball, ping pong, weightlifting, basketball. And they get a chance to, you know, not only read about, you know, a famous guy, but also just go there and can touch him, you know, and they feel a part of me. So they have given me the utmost respect.
Do you ever get down? Do you ever get to the point where you think that life has been a little bit unfair?
I do. You know, I get the blues, you know, especially, you know, missing my wife, I'm missing my 2 kids, you know, I'm missing my friends, just the free world, you know, in general. But outside of that, you know, I'm doing well there.
Mm-hmm. What about plans for when all that comes to an end? What's Bob Hayes going to do then?
Well, I have a buddy of mine here that owns a computer company, and I have been offered a job through Corporate Track, and this firm, it caters to law firms, and when I get out of here, it's a lot of lawyers around the country be seeing me because I'm going to be knocking the doors down.
You ever think about writing a book?
Sure, I'm into that too. We're going to get a book going. I'm gathering all of my materials now. We hoping that we have been talking to some people going into a mini TV series of, you know, the pros and cons of Bob Hayes, and everything is looking up. We got the right step forward.
Bob, one thing finally, what would be your advice to a young man growing up in these times?
Well, I think the young man, first of all, he got to get an education and be familiarized with basically everything that's around him. I think he got to be matured enough to know to make a decision from right and wrong. And I honestly feel if a kid could stay out of trouble, get a good education and get the best, just doesn't go there and make a C group. You know, go and do the best you can. There's opportunities out here, and the doors are open. I feel if you're qualified, you can get the chance to become a successful individual.
Bob, we've seen you climb the mountain once. Climb it again.
I am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The remarks of Bob Hayes.
Makes all of us stop and think a little bit, right? Well done, Patrick.
By the way, he is eligible for parole in February. And he is, of course, very hopeful. Here is Tom Landry, the only coach the Cowboys have ever had.
In darn good shape still.
The old-timers, or the ex-players, I should say, have been introduced. And now we'll hear some remarks from a remarkable man, Tom Landry.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rare privilege that I've had through all these years to coach all these outstanding players who represent hundreds of athletes who have meant so much to the Dallas Cowboys. And I have to say that I've been pretty lucky to have stayed here long enough to coach them. But I do want to take this opportunity, though, this few seconds that I have, to pay tribute to all of these players for the Dallas Cowboys that have done so much to make the Cowboys, you know, what they are today. For all of us who have spent our life in football, we recognize that the bottom line in professional football is what takes place right here on the playing field. So I believe that any applause that is to be given for the Dallas Cowboys and their success belongs to the players that have played for the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you.
The only team in the whole league that has a tougher schedule is Cincinnati. Well, this time he's 9 yards deep, and he will not bring it out. That's Roy Green, who returned one 108 yards in the first half.
He had a chance to break his own record in the same afternoon.
Wouldn't that have been something?
They probably had a big ball and chain till he not to come out of the end zone.
I'll bet you, Thomas, it'll be a long time before that record is broken.
The other ones lasted a long time.
25 years almost.
Let's see if this offense now has decided to come out. Let's see if this offense now has decided to come out and run the football on a steady basis. They're only down 4 points. Good field position here. 20-yard line's all right.
Wayne Morris and Otis Anderson, the running backs. And here's Anderson. Burrows ahead for 3 or 4.
You know, the Dallas defense is starting to shut down the run more each week. The average now is 4.2 coming into this game, a try. And in another week or so, it'll probably be down around 4 or less. And by playoff time, it'll be where it usually is, about a 3-5 or so.
And don't forget the acquisition that they made.
Mr.
John Dutton will help. That's Wayne Morris trying to get to the outside. Cannot. Dallas Thomas Henderson.
I don't think there's any way of explaining what a great loss personally and of course as a team player that J.V. Kane was. He was one of the most talented tight ends in football, the former Colorado Buffalo, and that of course is the black armband that the Cardinals wear. But he was not only a great person but a splendid athlete that would give Jimmy Hart one more big piece of attack.
It'll be a 3rd down now. Ball at the 24-yard line. And they need 6. And Hart, who took a lick the last time he went back to pass, probably remembers. Chili in motion. Hart this time with good protection out to Anderson. He gets away from Mike Hegman. He does not get away from Randy White. And Benny Barnes also helps out.
Talk about Prometheus bound. You should see what Randy White did. He moved a defensive left in on the 3 for the rush. He bounces off 2 or 3 players. Watch the left part of your screen. You'll see 54 sort of bounce in like a big bowling ball. There's 54. Now he forces the throw. Hart unloads it. Now watch 54 come over and somehow get into pursuit of a halfback who can run a 4.40. Watch 54 come up from behind and make the tackle.
First down, St. Louis, just outside the 30. Hart again will throw under the pressure of Randy Hughes, and Thomas Henderson gets the sack.
Well, we've been blitzed in the booth up here.
Got to look at a
right around here is the camera.
This is Charlie Waters, the great strong safety man.
Okay, you want to talk about this replay, huh?
How about working on television?
Well, the key to us beating the Cardinals is to get the pressure on the quarterback, and here it is. 3rd down plays. Cardinals are great at it. We're good at defensing. I think we had a little blitz on here. Yeah, that's Thomas making the trap.
Boy, he can blitz too. Of course, he's a very quick person, huh?
No, he's a great blitzing linebacker, and we utilize him in that respect.
Is Hart tough though with the quick drop and all that he
well,
normally
his timing,
gets?
1, 2, 3, and throw. That's what he thinks. There it is.
Good demonstration of Jimmy Hart in action, huh?
There's your buddy Cliff Harris that made the tackle on Gary Paris.
From the end zone now. Got a strange defense. You had Aaron Mitchell in there, number 34. What's he playing? One of the upbacks is a nickel?
They move him in the 4-0 situation, obvious passing downs, and take out 2 linebackers, and so we have a bunch of defensive backs in there.
It'll be 3rd and 5 as Jim Hart has his Cardinals up to the line of scrimmage at their own 35. 11:49 left to play, 3rd quarter. Cowboys lead at 17-13. Tilley in motion. Side handoff Anderson. The ball is gone, and the Cowboys have it.
Was that Benny Barnes with the recovery?
Somebody with very quick hands, and that would be Benny Barnes.
We're talking about this great running back. What about young Anderson, Charlie? Now, you didn't get a chance to try to tackle him earlier. What about him?
He's tough, and sometimes when you get that second effort like that, you're taking a chance on getting a fumble. That's what happened there. That's the first break I think we've had. They've got all the breaks this game.
This is a final score. The Redskins beat the Eagles 17-7. So they've tied the Eagles, and we'll see what happens to the Cowboys.
Puts the ball right here in the court, right in Texas, doesn't it?
Baltimore 14-13. You saw that score. At the 41, there's Jay Saldi. And they operate this time with 3 tight ends, and Dorsett cuts back inside to about the 36, stopped by Eric Williams.
Is Newhouse at 100%, do you think, Charlie Waters? Is he really back 100% yet?
I don't think so. He got hurt in the first game with the Cardinals, and he is yet to come back at full speed, because I haven't seen him break the tackles like I've seen him break them in the past, and I just don't think he's there yet. Boy, Coach Landry really loves to use those tight ends. He loves having 3 tight ends on his offensive attack.
Especially those that look like giraffes.
Like Cosby, you mean. He's lined up on the right side. Second down, they need 6 for a first. Laidlaw on a misdirection will have it just about. He'll be very near a first down. How about Charlie Waters? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, considering I'm getting better. Looking to the future, 1980.
We heard that your bride was trying to get you a job just to get you out of the house. Now you're around all the time.
I'm driving her crazy. I'm glad you guys had me up here to talk about football. She said, I didn't think I'd have to listen to it since you weren't playing.
We also heard a rumor that you might consider retiring. Do you give that any thought?
Well, it depends on whether I heal or not. You know, if I heal up and get myself ready, then in around April, I'll have to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Take it from a couple of us that have done it. Don't do it till you have to, but when it's time to walk away from it, you can find a way, just like the old-timers that came back. They look pretty good, by the way, didn't they?
Yeah, they're looking good, trotting out there.
Look prosperous.
Fast as I've seen Jethro move in years.
That was a first down, by the way. Dallas leads at 17-13, and Newhouse, the motion man. Dorsett, the spin back. He spun away from a couple. Staubach was out where he was in a position to block, but they did not over-pursue that time.
And you know, it points out that if you have these kind of people like Dorsett, you can put in these kind of plays. It starts out to the right. The man of motion's already gone. Now, what do you call this? 38 naked out of the eye? What is the terminology on this show?
I think it's just taking full advantage of Dorsett's quickness. And you got to love Coach Landry for having a wide-open offense like that. He comes up with tricks like that every week.
You're right. There's something different just about every week. New Orleans 17-0 over Detroit. We had heard that Dick Nolan might be in trouble at New Orleans, but it doesn't look like it now. That was a bad throw. Drew Pearson, the intended receiver. We have 9:41 left, third quarter. And we've got a chance to visit with Cowboys All-Pro safety man Charlie Waters. You and Cliff Harris came the same year, didn't you?
1970. End up having to compete for the same job. We enjoy playing, though. Sure do. He still does enjoy playing.
So it'll be 3rd and 10, and they operate this time with Roger Deep, shotgun. Ron Springs and Preston Pearson operate alongside. Cardinals blitz. Roger almost lost his head and almost threw an interception.
Looked like Springs was supposed to go inside, and if nothing came, then come back out and take the outside blitzing, the dogging linebacker. Of course, as a rookie, you can't expect everything, right, Charlie?
Well, he's a super ball player, and we utilize him an awful lot, but I guess it's just an obvious rookie mistake. He's supposed to pick up that blitzing linebacker to the outside, and you see him taking a shot on Roger right there.
I bet Roger tells him about it just nicely, like, come on, Rook.
That was Fabrin, the linebacker from the Cardinals, that almost took Roger's helmet with him. So Rafael Septien from 30, call it 38 yards out, 48 make it. He hit one from 51 earlier. That used to be your job, that of the holder, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
A lot of distance, but wide right. Dallas leads St. Louis 17-13. Sure, you've heard us say this before, but that big hole in the roof, Texas Stadium, when it's a bright, sunshiny day like today, causes us problems.
Boy, I've been wondering where the girls were. They're the Dallas cheerleaders.
They'll cause you some problems sometimes, too.
I was going to say.
They'll blind you.
First down. Tilly in motion, Hart back. Hart chased by Larry Cole, has to hurry and throws away, intended for Tilly.
Charlie, most dangerous receiver you've covered, is it Mel Gray when he was having the running through there like a leopard? Is that when it was?
He ranks up there as one of the tough ones. Of course, Harold Jackson, he had a good career against me. And Paul Warfield was a great one. But Gray, when he's healthy, of course, he always says he's not healthy coming and play us. He's notorious for doing that. He always gets well.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Dallas leads St. Louis 17-13. It's Anderson who juggled it coming into the line. He almost lost another one.
Boy, is he strong, though, huh? He still kept control of his body underneath it until he got the ball put away.
Randy White on the tackle.
Charlie Waters, I've been trying to tell people for years that there's nothing like the position of cornerback. I mean, really, it's like you're alone under the polar ice cap, huh?
There is no way to try to describe it to anybody else, any layman out there, any fan that's watching the game. You've got to get out there and experience that one-on-one, that gut check feeling that you have at corner. And your pass defense should be centered around helping your cornerbacks at all times.
2nd and 6. They double Gray and Tilley wide to the right. And now Tilley goes in motion, and 2 Cowboys go with him. Hart. High over Gray, who was a step or 2 away from Dennis Thurman. Charlie Waters, thank you very much for stopping by. Enjoy the chat.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks
Good
for
luck to
having
you.
me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looking for next year, 1980.
Okay, Charlie. I'm wondering if Mel Gray didn't break his pattern off. Here's the pass rush. That's Martin now. He's going to work with Wortman. Getting doubled as Anderson helped. Good blocking, and actually Hart had time to load it up. And now we're going to see a little kick right into that sun, into the light.
Steve Wilson back by himself. Will return it if it's returnable for Dallas. Steve Little chasing back in the end zone. Concedes the safety.
That'll be 2 points. That ball cleared everything.
That's a pretty good center if that's Brahaney who snapped it, and it is. A veteran. And Little did the wise thing.
Be a free kick from behind the 20-yard line. But we've said it before, a safety usually ends up being 9 points somewhere along the quarter.
If he tried to recover it and didn't and lost it, and the Cowboys recovered, of course it would have been a touchdown. There is a penalty flag down, I think, because he kicked it. That's an illegal kick that he did, but the penalty flag, I'm just not sure about this situation. And that's what he's going to do.
The free kick. We got good hang time.
He sure did. Tony Hill. And Hill gets back upfield, and Tony cuts back and still stays on his feet. He's to the 50. And out of bounds in Cardinal territory. Ken Stone made the tackle. But the Cowboys will be in Cardinal land when they start with offense.
They tell me that when the upper body of Hill gets up to the legs, that he's going to be one of the strongest players in the team. He's working on the weights and all now to build up the upper body, but look at the leg movement. He shifted his whole body out from underneath the upper part of his torso to get to the outside. He is extremely dangerous.
Apparently there was no penalty after Steve Little kicked the ball out of the end zone. We thought it was an illegal kick, and there was a flag thrown, but no penalty assessed. We'll check into that a little bit more in detail. Scott Laidlaw and Tony Dorsett, the running backs, and Dorsett swings out wide to the right in front of Staubach. And the throwback is right straight up in the air and up for grabs. Staubach had the ball slip out of his hand. They were trying to throw the ball all the way back across the field to Laidlaw.
Remember, he used to do that. Number 12 used to jump up in the air and throw it back into a center screen. But Pollard was chasing him so quickly to the far side that he really threw sort of a slider. It looked like even a wet pitch, a Vaselino.
And it wound up being a jump ball.
Almost the third interception.
Sometimes you get a little too fancy.
They haven't come back with Tony Hill running the football like they did on the opening play very, very many times.
Dorsett and Newhouse now the setbacks. And Dorsett will get that play this time. And gets it about 8 yards. Dorsett had 66 on 13 carries before that one. Have Tilley and Mel Gray and Jim Hart in audience, and look at this score. Cleveland coming back against Cincinnati 28-27. Fourth quarter. The Jets over Oakland 28-19, and that's the final. New Orleans 17-0 over Detroit, third quarter. It'll be a passing situation. At least that's what the Cardinals think. They'll rush 3 men. They have 4 linebackers, 4 defensive backs. And they blitz that shotgun. Staubach has time. Tony Hill. And a well-timed defensive play by Roy Green.
Good play by Green. He waited till the ball touched up and then drilled him. I'll tell you, I'm impressed with the St. Louis defense. They have given away very little.
2 touchdown passes by Roger Staubach, one to Billy Joe DuPree and one to Tony Hill. Field goal by Septien and a safety.
Look who's going back to run this back. Ken Green. What an active young player, huh? Roy Green.
Roy Green. And Danny White punted 1 time, averaged 42. The leader in the NFC, averaged 50 against the Rams last week. I was about to say he will run with it. Angling for the corner. And Benny Barnes makes the catch on the fly. Benny Barnes is down there. I don't believe I've ever seen that before.
Like he was running a turn-end pattern on the 3-yard line.
7:17 left third quarter. Cowboys 19, Cards 13.
Never been in it.
Texas Stadium. Sellout crowd watching the Cowboys lead the Cardinals 19-13 at the moment. 7 minutes, 17 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire. That's the final score. Baltimore 14-13 over Buffalo. Cowboys automatic some kind of a defense. And whatever they automatic to was successful, as Larry Cole is on the bottom of the pile, along with some other members of the
Otis Anderson, the number 1 pick, is now at about 62 yards and not holding in 11 carries. Again, he had the longest run ever from scrimmage against Dallas in that opening game, the 73-yarder. Here you can see Brunig signaling to the gang, don't get trapped. Look out for a trick.
And they tried a trap on Brunig. Randy White smothered it. Hart hit Morris. It looked like the official in the middle might have gotten in the line of sight between Hart and Morris.
Again, Hart's looking right back into the sun from that angle. You'll see how long the shadow is. Here's the quarterback. Harvey Martin coming up the middle. Randy White going to the outside. You're throwing off that blue end zone. You get it off, but the official did get in the way of Morris.
No place to go for the man in the striped shirt. And the ball just appeared all of a sudden. 3rd and 7 situation for Jim Hart and the Cardinals. Deep in their own territory. Line of scrimmage, their own 6. Chili in motion. Mitchell goes with him. Hart almost comes up with a diving attempt at an interception by Benny Barnes. Didn't come up with it, but Hart did well to evade another safety.
And Harvey Martin must be on some kind of wheat germ. Watch this move. Gets rid of Wortman, goes right on the inside. That's the new move that Ernie Stautner said the fans gave him.
The back inside?
Back inside. Said the fans said, hey, Harvey, start getting some sacks. And Harvey started working at it. He's some player.
Back out at midfield is Steve Wilson. Steve Little. Back in the backside of the end zone, right under his own goal post. And Brahaney will take a look this time. We'll check out the hang time. See if the Cowboys try to block it or if they're going to try to set up a return. Line drive kick, and a good one. Wilson breaks away a couple of tackles. Flag is down, and Wilson sticks out his arm to get it in Cardinal territory, but penalty flag is probably going to indicate that there was a clip against Dallas. Lee Nelson made the tackle on Wilson.
Did you see that one quote by Dick Vermeil of the Eagles? The thing that amazed him the most about the Dallas program was how Landry and his staff got all the information to the players, when they got the time to do all this, Coach.
It is so complicated.
No flag. Play was legal as it ran. No flag.
No flag is is the indication.
Little applause, too, by people that admit an honest error.
You look at the number of coaches that Tom Landry has on his staff, and it's below the average.
They stay a long time. They get with him, and
well, they get, for the most part, have a pretty good little incentive at the end. Playoff and Super Bowl funds. Just inside Cardinal territory. Staubach gives to Newhouse. Newhouse this time whirls for about 7 with those little short digging steps. Eric Williams and Calvin Favron, the tackle.
Only the 4th carry for Newhouse, who had 108 yards rushing against St. Louis in the opener. There he goes. He and his lovely lady had twins, you know. And they said it's not easier to raise 2 than it is 1. They're working 12 hours a day with those 2 twins.
Scott Laidlaw in the backfield. Doug Cosby, the double tight end, second one. Dorsett diving for a first down. The ball was down, and it's Dorsett. Eric Williams, the tackle.
It's a good tackling Cardinal defense. They get a hold of you. They're doing a good job of tackling. Linebacker looks like he's hurt there on the ground.
That's Eric Williams who made the tackle. They have been hit hard at that linebacker position.
Rafferty, fake inside, and then Laidlaw is supposed to seal off. He might go through on the inside linebacker. Rafferty on the outside, and a good tackle. Tony gets pinched in behind Rafferty, it looks like. He's in pain, too.
Like Worley might have fallen on top of him as well. Both ends of a doubleheader. So check your local listings. 3rd and 2. Dorsett hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Is near a first down. If he's got it, it won't be by much.
Is that Allerman, the linebacker, really stuck him helmet to helmet? That kind sends off a flash inside your head like something from Studio 54 or something. Watch this. Helmet to helmet. That is Allerman, linebacker. That does hurt. You feel that one Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning. We've seen Danny White do everything but punt at times. We've seen him pass,
right. I asked him before the game, you know, he broke his thumb. I asked him if he had any problems with his thumb. It's still taped. And he said none at all. Everything's fine, so he can throw it. He took a look the last time he punted. I think he had some ideas about running. Delay of the game penalty against Dallas. Less likely to run now. Information we've been able to get. Our producer Bob Stenner was in contact with the NFL office in New York. Is that any member of the kicking team can kick the ball out of the end zone in a situation which occurred just a minute ago. So it was not a violation. It was a mistake.
Glad you explained that one. Really worried about that for a while.
Danny White really hits up a rocket. Benny Barnes is going to be down there again. The Cardinals hit him. Henderson does his handspring in the end zone. The Cardinals kept Benny Barnes away from the ball that time.
Perry Smith really racked him up down on the 2-yard line. And the officials are all looking at one another like maybe this is illegal, but nobody dropped anything. Is that Green that did that, or is that...
That is Roy Green.
That is Roy Green that made the shot. Look at Benny. He can't figure out who had the ball.
He didn't signal for a fair catch.
Who turned out the lights?
He doesn't have a right to. San Francisco leading Atlanta. The Falcons out on the West Coast at Candlestick Park. They stayed out there all week in some very bad weather. Mel Gray, Barnes, and Hughes get him out of bounds.
It's only the second catch for Mel Gray. Remember, we saw him leave earlier in that first half, limping and all, but he seems to come back. And he run very swiftly over artificial surface.
Kansas City 3, the Giants nothing. Giants have won 2 in a row. Kansas City's record was 4-3 going in. Looks like Phil Simms has taken over permanently as the Giant quarterback.
I still think the Cardinals are very much in this football game, and Dallas better do something offensively, or Hart will have them right back on top.
It's 19-13. There's a fine play by Larry Cole to upend Otis Anderson.
He's the last member of the Dallas Cowboys of that old no publicity group that used to be here. They didn't want to be interviewed, remember?
Didn't want to be noticed.
Lawless and all of them. Watch to the left of your screen, 63, Larry Cole. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about Dutton. We've talked about it. So Cole gives you about 3 or 4 plays like that every game, just to let you know he's still there and very much alive.
Usually in very crucial situations. That's when number 63 appears. Now the Cowboys go to that 3-man rush. Cole goes out, and Randy White is the left defensive end. And the Cardinals run the ball. And they may have a first down on that effort by Wayne Morris. He hurled over the top, or hurdled himself over the top, put down, and it is a first down.
Of course, the Cowboys haven't done a lot of 3-man defensive stuff, and I don't think you pick it up in 2 or 3 weeks and do it perfectly.
Bud Wilkinson over on the St. Louis sideline.
One of my favorite people. I used to play against his teams in Oklahoma, and even when he would beat you, you somehow felt like it was earned.
Penalty marker goes down, and Hart throws one intended for Anderson. He had nobody open. See what the violation might be.
Randy White looked like a thrashing machine going around that pocket.
A what?
A thrashing machine.
Oh.
I mean, arms and legs. He is.
Referee is Bob Frederick. We have not heard much from him today. This one's against Dallas. Maybe he thrashed offside.
Defense, number 54 offside. First down.
That's the reason he was thrashing. He was mad because he was offsides, baby.
Bud Wilkinson is not unhappy about that.
Quite a few rumors about Bud, whether he was going to perhaps resign St. Louis.
7-0 Seattle over Houston. Yeah, we heard a lot of stuff about that. He says not true. Anderson skates away from a lot of people. Brunig finally managed to hold on to one leg and get him down.
Anderson now at 65 yards rushing, 66. Here it is, the quick draw. Here's the great movement. What a great #1 draft choice. The great thing is he took the money, put it away, and hasn't thought about dollar bills since. He is really a fine competitor. They say he and Theotis, that's Theotis Brown, have the Otis and Theotis show on KMOX in St. Louis. Rather entertaining hour of football discussion.
They just sit down and talk.
Talk about barbecued ribs, whatever.
Yeah. It's amazing the talent that comes out of that University of Miami. Otis Anderson, of course, the first-round draft choice. The Giants have a member of their starting backfield from there last year. Chicago, Minnesota tied 17-17. The 2 running backs of the University of Miami both won starting jobs in the NFL 1 year later. First down, and Anderson has another carry. Outside the block, and there are flags everywhere. It's going to be holding, I think, against Wayne Morris, or tackling.
Like Morris came in and got Hughes, and had come up, the safety man had come across the line of scrimmage and might have rolled around on him. Now, Tom Henderson claims he was held. Benny Barnes was claiming he was held.
Like it might have stunned Randy Hughes a little bit.
It's not retroactive. You might as well have 3 guys holding as one.
It's better that way.
With Anderson, you don't have to hold very long either.
Interesting, he went outside the block even that time for the holding. Morris is trying to block Hughes out.
Interesting theory. The offensive line for St. Louis is taking rather large splits, which I think plays into the hands of the Dallas team that's very quick on defense and a lot of sophistication and stunts. St. Louis is doing it. Yes, pretty successful.
2nd and 11 with 1:58 left, third quarter. Dallas 19, Cardinals 13. Gary Parris, the tight end, lines up on the left side, and Hart goes back. It's a 3-man rush. Morris gets gets away from one tackle, gets away from another, and he'll have a St. Louis first down. And there's a big scuffle going on. Dennis Thurman.
How did Mel Gray end up in the middle of it? Looked like Cliff Harris and Wayne Morris were the originals. And they are a piece of work right now. There were people being hit on all sides. I saw Randy White take a couple of shots in the line of scrimmage when that was started, too.
He had about 3 men blocking him. But the Cardinals get that first down and maintain possession at their own 42.
If we get a chance to see that play again, because there is some fur flying. This is the last part of it. You can see Thurman in there. There's Cliff Harris now. Now let's see there. And there's the we call a counterattack.
Like Thurman was trying to strip the ball away from Morris. And the crowd starts to encourage or try to the Dallas defense. Cole got an arm on Hart. And that might have been the reason that he missed Mel Gray, because he was open.
There's a flag down on the line of scrimmage.
San Diego leading Los Angeles 7-0. That's the late start, of course, first quarter score.
Pat, this is what we were talking about with the wide splits. It gives the stunning defense a lot of room. You know, you not only have to block where you're standing, but also the area next to you. And it gives these guys like Harvey Martin and Randy White a tremendous run at your quarterback through a natural slot.
Tom Frederick.
Offensive holding, number 71. Down remains 1.
Joe Bostic was holding Larry Cole.
Good job that Bostic has done, the rookie from Clemson. 268 pounds and stepped right in for Deerdorf, which is not an easy pair of shoes to jump into.
Dave Stalls is the other member of the Dallas front four. He's supposed to be a good pass rusher. Outside the ball goes. And it's Otis Anderson. Ruled down. His knee was down. And he was touched by D.D. Lewis.
Dropped by D.D. Lewis at the 13.
Isolation of a number 1 draft choice. Talk about effort. He turns all ways. D.D. touches him down. I have a feeling Anderson never really feels like the game is over. We just ran out of time a little bit, but
Cincinnati ran out of time. Cleveland beat them 28-27. That is a final score.
Pete Johnson, the big fullback, scored on a 33-yard run. Last score.
Cleveland will be 5-3. Cincinnati 1-7. Cowboys, Brunig fakes a blitz, and it's not a fake. Henderson and Harris meet at the quarterback.
This is Tom Henderson's 4th sack of the year. Here comes the safety man, the free safety man. He goes up and over and rolls into a crab block and helps on the sack.
He got him with his heels. Henderson limps off.
I think he and Doug Todd, the PR man, have a radio show here in Dallas, don't they? Drive Time Doug, they call it, or something?
Hollywood. Tomas.
Got to be some show. They ought to tape that for syndication.
That'll be the end of the third quarter.
And that is the signal ending the
And they'll change ends of the field for one more. That's the end of the third quarter with the score.
St. Louis.
Dallas Cowboys 19, the Cardinals 13. We now... One more quarter to play. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire at Texas Stadium. 15 minutes left. It's the Cowboys 19, the Cardinals 13. The ball's at the Cardinal 32. It'll be 3rd down and 20.
Jim Hart is 11 of 24 for 102. But the best 3rd down defensive team in the National Football League is the Dallas Cowboys. It's tough.
Henderson is out. Hegman is in, and that's Hegman faking a blitz. No flag.
Oh. He just doesn't act like a rookie, run like a rookie. He probably doesn't eat breakfast like a rookie. He probably goes for a dozen eggs and a pound of bacon. He's just some runner, isn't he?
He burns a lot of energy.
Saw him get hurt the first time against the Giants one day, and he started to come out, went right back to the huddle and walked it off, and I thought, oh, hey, my hometown, huh? Roswell, it's blue and white on Sunday. That's all they think about over in New Mexico is the Cowboys.
New Mexico.
My mom has given 10 points and taken Dallas all the way.
Your mom?
My mom.
Does she know Jimmy the Greek?
Better than that.
Cardinals are going to be called for too much time. Steve Little
Flags are down. The football is now. Signal delay of the game.
bounces the ball into the end zone. Steve Wilson back deep for Dallas.
And that bunch of Cowboys are sort of hungry, too. That special team bunch, that Huther and Guy Brown and that bunch, Hegman.
They've had troubles on the kickoff returns, however.
Delay, offense, 4th down.
Delayed the game. It'll be 4th down.
St. Louis had a little trouble covering punts a week ago against Philadelphia. Let's see what they do here.
Thomas Henderson hurt his toe. He was expected to be back. Little gets off a funny kick. It turns out to be very successful. Came off the inside of his foot, but maybe that's what he intended.
Knocked out of bounds at the 7-yard line from that point.
Get into kick.
Dallas has the football on their own 7-yard line. Kick out of bounds by Steve Little.
They're looking into a full sun, Mr. Staubach is, and I think with a very dangerous offensive situation. The Cowboys got to be very careful with that football right now.
All right, here is Staubach giving to Dorsett. With Scott out in front, Dorsett swings around the corner. Stone takes him out of bounds. Tony with just a little room. Really motored.
And this is a slow developing play. Look at Scott getting out in the middle of your screen, 68. Rafferty's right behind him. The play is not a deceptive one, only if you're trying to catch a shadow. Swear he makes it look easy.
Scott got the good block out in front.
And they got into the shade.
Well, the backs will be in the sun. And the line will be up in the shade. 13:49 left to play. Dorsett just went over 100 yards, 101. 4th consecutive game he's done that. Takes the fake, and Staubach fires to Drew Pearson. Drew slung to the ground at the 40-yard line by Carl Allen. And rather hard.
Good throw by Roger Staubach. He sent Tony Hill straight through, and the favorite pattern, the 6 pattern, the crossing pattern by 88. Roger looking into the sun, right on with this. You're right, this was a rough tackle. St. Louis makes you pay. Ouch.
All the way to the 40-yard line in Cardinal territory. Dallas on 2 plays moved from the shadow of their own goal line into the shadows of this football field. Newhouse operates with Dorsett. Dorsett has it. Takes inside, tackled by Kurt Allerman. And a good tackle on Tony Dorsett.
A sure tackle. Now you see him, now you don't. This time, good defense. The blitz forced the early throw, and now Dorsett had to sort of waggle around as it was strung out. Boy, Allerman really makes a good play.
Blitz was by Steve Niels. Laidlaw checks in with the play for Roger. 2nd 11, 12:24 with the clock running. Left to play. Dallas leads St. Louis 19-13. Again by Kurt Allerman in the open field.
Right to the knees.
So it'll be 3rd and 10.
The Cardinals are really belligerent, aren't they? If you do something that is a good offensive play, they are banging people on all sides, all around it.
And their pursuit is so good.
Remember, they got healthy last year, and down the stretch, they decided a lot of teams and where they would go.
They won 6 out of their last 8. They had high hopes coming in this year, and those hopes are not all gone yet. In spite of the 2-5 record at the halfway point. 3 and 5 or 2 and 6. Preston Pearson back with Roger Staubach. He throws and has Jay Salvi. A penalty marker is down. Ken Stone took Salvi out of bounds, but hold everything.
Pass blocking looked almost perfect and maybe too good. Rogers beginning to really throw the football cleanly and without much effort.
Perfect throw, but the offensive unit for Dallas is backing up. At least they think it's against them. And the flag location would indicate that's true.
You know how hard it is for an offensive lineman to admit that he held somebody?
Offensive holding, number 67, third down.
Donovan.
Right.
The big tackle, maybe one of the best in the league. Watch the top of the screen. You'll see him working. Inside move by the defensive end now. Yeah, that's the old Indian Apache hold, okay.
We'll make it 3rd and 20.
It's quite a joust on the line of scrimmage that time.
I'll say. In the shotgun. Fitzgerald with that line snap. Staubach scoops. And looks. Now he throws. Intended for Preston Pearson, who couldn't quite hang on. And the punting unit will come on. Nevertheless, Tom, that was a pretty good offensive series to get them out of their own end zone.
I think Roger, though, has thrown 2 or 3 of the worst passes I've seen him throw in this season, maybe a year or so. Flutter ball, and that last one was a very dangerous throw right down the middle.
That ball that Ken Stone intercepted earlier when he was in a similar situation.
It seems like Dallas doesn't think that this is a close game, and this is still a very close contest.
19-13. Danny White will punt for Dallas, and Roy Green is back to the Cardinals, and up goes the fair catch signal with Benny Barnes just staring him in the face. And from the other side, Thomas Henderson was right there as well. A wide catch. Cardinals own the football now with exactly 11 minutes left to play. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire at Texas Stadium. Jim Hart has been the quarterback all the way. There was some doubt whether or not he'd play during the week. There was some doubt early in the first half if he would be able to come back, but he was. Chased by Randy White. Fumble. Cowboys have it. Dave Stalls.
Dave Stalls recovers it, and Randy White is the one that made Jim Hart cough it up. Going from deep in his own territory, White just splits 2 blockers. I believe Larry Cole was in on it. Now Stalls is on the bottom. What did we find out that Stalls studied out at San Diego in the offseason?
Shark. That's Shark.
Shark, like
behavioral research. And he hopes to get his doctor's degree studying about sharks.
There's a big need for people that know a lot about sharks.
Dallas first down at the Cardinal 10. Newhouse.
Oh, boy, they're good tacklers.
Down to about the 6.5-yard line. The Cardinal defense, particularly against the rush, continues to play well.
And again, the linebackers fill those holes against that on the 30 defense and really tackle. Allerman, Pollard's a good pass rush to the defensive end. Eric Williams has been in and out of their hurt. While they're bandaged up, I think they really like to stick people. They're a good football team to watch.
Bob Pollard, good job on that last play. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 7. Laidlaw in with Dorsett again. Something wrong with that play. Flag goes down. Staubach struggles down inside the 5, but they'll bring it all back. They miss connections. Fitzgerald and Staubach did. Charlie Davis tackled Roger, and the Cardinals want to accept that penalty. Players do. I don't know what the coach thinks. Yes, they're indicating on the Cardinal sideline, yes.
Still 10 minutes to go and a very close football game. We keep thinking, well, the Cardinals won't score and can't score, but they can score very quickly.
They always have been able to, it seems like.
And late.
They'll back it up. 5.
Illegal motion on the offense. 2nd down.
There were so many people illegally in motion, Bob Frederick and his crew couldn't figure out who it was. So it'll be second down. It's still second and goal, but they're at the 12. Staubach has Newhouse directly behind him. Will throw. He looks and throws high over the head of Drew Pearson, who was covered pretty well.
Roger looked and then looked back. By that time it was done, and he is very clever about knowing where to throw the ball away. Normally he's, I would say, the best at that.
We should always like to have a touchdown and an extra point, but with the score 19-13, a field goal would be almost as good for Dallas at this point. That would make it 22-13.
Number 26 just checked in, of course.
Preston Pearson
comes out of a bottle, you know. It's like suddenly he appears.
They do not shotgun it this time with him in there on third down. They've got a score on this play if they're going to get that touch. The high throw is overthrown, intended for Drew Pearson. Roger Worley on the coverage, and here comes Septien. Cardinal defense again plays tough. Did a good job.
And put it in the worst possible position. Inside the 10, going in. Or inside the 15, I should say.
All week long we've been hearing that despite the 2-5 record, the Cardinal players hadn't lost confidence in themselves, and they certainly have illustrated that today. 10:02 left to play as Danny White will put it down just outside the 19 for a 29-yard field goal attempt from Rafael Septien. That will make it the Cowboys 22, the Cardinals 13. Willard Harrell and Roy Green, who set an NFL record today, returning a kickoff 108 yards. Back for the Cardinals. The line drive kick is taken at the 4 by Roy Green. Still on his feet and taken down. And an unnecessary hit. Dennis Thurman made the tackle. The hit was by Bruce Huther, I believe.
Huther gave him a shot. That's going to put pretty good field position. How about Monday night with the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
And Fat Albert.
That's Cosby and the bunch, the kids, huh?
Cosby and the kids' Halloween special.
Trick or treat.
To be followed by MASH and WKRP in Cincinnati.
Lonnie Anderson, is that the young lady that was in the press box with us one day?
Yes, I think you interviewed her.
One of my best.
And Ed Asner stars as Lou Grant, all on CBS Monday night. Penalty was against St. Louis. We thought the late hit, was from Bruce Huther.
Clip, number 80 on the kick return team. First down.
See if we can find the clip. Bill Murrow.
The clip was on Huther and actually knocked him into the ball carrier. Thank heavens for instant replay.
And those officials.
And Sandy Grossman, our director.
Yes. Theodis Brown and Otis Anderson. Gary Parris sets up as a tight end to the right. And Anderson just keeps breaking tackles. Broke away from the grasp of Dave Stalls and Randy White.
Randy came from the right side, and how he gets into plays that far away as a defensive tackle. You used to see defensive backs go over and get into plays, you know, they are not supposed to be. But watch number 54. He forces the play on the line first. And when the cutback takes place by a great running back, it's a defensive tackle that's helping make that tackle. That's hard to find.
Here's Theodis Brown in the grasp of Bob Brunig. Think about that right defensive tackle position for the Cowboys. Randy White, who was preceded by Bob Lilly, in pretty good hands.
How about if Too Tall Jones decides to come back and you have Dutton, Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin, and Randy White? How do you block that group?
I think you widen the field.
And punt a lot, right?
Third and short yardage, make it 2. The Cardinals need this first down. They may not have it. Harvey Martin made sure after Thomas Henderson made the initial hit.
I've had players tell me that Henderson is the toughest linebacker, and you look at him and you say, come on, watch this tackle he makes. Thomas Henderson, nothing fancy about it. He just sticks head on. Don't think he can't play football.
Near enough for a measurement as the sticks come out. It'll be very close. 8.5 minutes left to play.
Henderson's been low profile this season, don't you think, alike?
Much more so than last year. First down, he got it. Chicago Bears 27, Minnesota 17. That had been a tie, 17 apiece for a while. He'll move the sticks back to the sideline and out to about the 21-yard line of the Cardinals.
That field goal just put it over the edge and, you know, makes a touchdown just get close. Very big field goal.
Indeed it was. First down, though, for St. Louis, and Jim Hart drops the pass. Larry Cole around his feet, makes him throw it away. Larry Cole, pass intended for Theodis Brown. Larry Cole is starting to come on and give Joe Bostic a tough time.
Hart now has 11 of 25 for 102 yards, but it has been rough. It's been a rough afternoon for Jim.
He was down for the sitting 8 count in the first half. You hear that applause in the background. That's at the other end of the stadium where Whistling Ray is leading cheers. I wonder if he has a season ticket. Hart back again, outside. Out, and there comes Henderson again. Defensive back Benny Barnes slipped down, hurt his foot. He's had a bad foot.
He's had the calcium deposits in that ankle lower foot area for a long time, and I think Benny's in real trouble. He went down and stayed down.
Rookie Aaron Mitchell checks in. Let's watch the activity. We've talked about the speed of Thomas Henderson. Watch this reaction.
Here's Henderson, stays on the line of scrimmage, does not have to overreact. Now makes the tackle because actually Benny was not in position, and had Childs thought about how open he was, he could have probably ran for some good yardage. You know, Johnny Wooden, the great basketball coach, once said he didn't go for speed as much as quickness. He didn't want to see guys having to dive to make all the tackles all over, but those that are under control when they're doing it. I guess Henderson fits that bill.
Certainly does. Benny Barnes, right ankle, seems to be the problem. Bob Brunig, middle linebacker, looking in. He's up and walking, but that's going to last a while, it looks like.
Pretty thin position for the Cowboys, too.
Rookies in there now. Aaron Mitchell. And
he hits anything that moves. He's like a bull in the bull ring.
But he is a rookie. Right to work.
I'm telling you, from Las Vegas, Nevada, the rookie.
That's Jim Childs, the intended receiver.
And he does a lot of the hit duty for Harris. Harris says that, Aaron, go over there and hit that receiver when he catches this ball. Good setup, and as you said, Pat, go right to work on the young man that came off the bench. He didn't see all the problems, but he took care of it.
Another passing situation for the Cardinals, and Bob Young comes in. 7-7 Houston, Seattle. The Oilers kind of quietly hanging up close to the top of the AFC Central Division. Hart under the heat. Cole, Stalls, Harvey Martin, all close.
And Randy White got double and took the darndest collision. Watch this rush. And good blocking now by St. Louis. Harvey's taking that inside. Workman cuts him off, and Bob Young is trying to cut off Randy White. Look at 54. On the other side, though, there's some solo blocking and some great pass rushing.
Theodis Brown cut Randy White's feet out from under him. Thomas looked like he might be shaken up.
If the ball had been thrown, Dennis Thurman would have picked it off and walked in for a touchdown, and Hart had to put the ball away. Watch the rush. There's the dog. If he had thrown that ball, Thurman was making his move, and Henderson gets his 5th sack of the year.
That's sort of that delayed blitz that he has the speed to make successful. Steve Wilson. Punter was Steve Little. Wilson dodges a couple, swings around another corner. Fights for some more yards and gets down to the Cardinal 46. 6.5 minutes left to play. Dallas leads 22-13. Dallas 22, St. Louis 13. San Diego and the Rams are tied in the first quarter, 7-7. Cowboys have a first down. Staubach gives to Dorsett, who swings around the outside, cuts back, and there's a good tackle by Roy Green. Thomas Henderson seems to have recovered from whatever happened to him.
Playing good.
Just keep playing, Tomas. Good block by Rafferty on the outside that time. He just buried the cornerback. But St. Louis is a stiff tackling team, crisp.
Steve Niels came out, and John Bearfield went in. Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom.
On second down, Rogers going to put it up. Goes over the head of Preston Pearson. The Cardinal defenders, Mike Dawson was out there. New Orleans beat Detroit 17-7, and don't count the Saints out as yet. Their record is now 4-4.
Detroit didn't get on the board till late in that game, too.
And they are 1-7. Randy Hughes,
The young architect. Pretty good safety man, too.
done an excellent job replacing Charlie Waters. 3rd and 5, 5:45 left to play. Shotgun. Snap is a little low from Fitzgerald, but Staubach has it. Batted around, the ball hit by Kurt Allerman. And Dallas unable to move against a very stubborn Cardinal defense. Kansas City 10-0 over the Giants.
1-yard run by Arnold Morgado.
Kansas City's record 4-3. Tony Dorsett on a hot afternoon in Dallas.
Dorsett with 106 yards on the 18 carries. Broke out that first play and stunned us before we'd even done the opening lineups. Almost broke it, didn't it?
One tackler, Ken Stone, was the only thing that prevented it. Danny White. Roy Green back to the Cardinals. Let it bounce to Wilson. They down it at the 1.5-yard line. What a play by Wilson.
I thought Green was going to go over and knock him away from it.
He tried to.
And it looked like Wilson was too far away from it. Watch this move. Here's the young special teams performer. Usually runs them back. It's good play. You'd be surprised what a difference it makes.
Bob Brunig was down, and Jay Saldi to down it. They put it at the 2. The Cardinals have got 98 yards worth of work ahead of them to get on the scoreboard.
Stallings has probably told his defensive backs and people, make sure that Gray's got the double, somebody under and somebody deep.
Don't forget the award-winning 60 Minutes tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. First down, Wayne Morris, Otis Anderson, the running back tandem. Behind Hart, Otis Anderson, the ball carrier, gets out to about the 5. Larry Cole leads the defense.
I think Hart wasted that like a pitcher wastes a fastball. Just at least get the defensive line together so they have to make a tackle so we can try to pass the ball a little bit. You get to where you're two-pass happy against Dallas, you'll end up wearing those guys around your neck.
Seattle 14-7 over Houston. Second quarter score. 2nd and 7 here for the Cardinals. Less than 5 minutes left to play, and here's Anderson again. He bowls out to about the 10. Nearing 100 yards. Nearing a chance to join that select company of only 2 more backs who've gained 100 yards twice against Dallas.
You know, he came in with 21 catches. He now has 425 catches, and that may be the hardest thing for a young rookie runner to do is learn pass routes and pass patterns.
Here in the second quarter at Candlestick Park, San Francisco 7, Atlanta nothing. Third down 1. Roger Staubach on the phone over on the Dallas bench. Jim Hart calls him. It will be Anderson. And Anderson spins for a first down. He is remarkable.
And he's always shuffling. He always seems like a straight line, but he doesn't have to do it. He's got great balance that he can lean back and take it off. Gets away from his own blocker. Gets away from Larry Cole making the tackle. And almost broke a long one.
Anderson now 18 carries for 99 yards. He's as good a rookie running back as I think I've ever seen, with the possible exception of Mr. Brown. He gets another try. That should be just about the 100 that he needs.
Well, that Bob Young has really played tough football today. He's got the bad hamstring, and he's a guy that carries 288 or 290 pounds around, and big number 64 in there.
And Minnesota having a little scoring contest. 27-23 the game in the fourth quarter.
We'll keep our eye on young Anderson now and see if did he make it? He just didn't make 100.
The even 100 now. Cowboys flex their defense with Martin back and White up. Outside Anderson. Anderson stays on his feet and can't come up swinging. Randy White. And really.
Well, I watched Randy White get away from 2 people, and then Hart unloaded the ball. So now he's wasted his effort, and then he began to chase it, and he put a pretty good shot on Anderson on the ground.
And Anderson comes up.
You know, tempers are like a hair trigger. Here it is. Now watch 54 to the left of your screen. You'll see him chasing. That's Harvey Martin right there. Here will come 54 now. He has not quit, and nobody's touched down Anderson. Understand that. He has not legally been touched down, and if you don't get mad enough to do that once in a while, you should be on the Davis Cup team or something.
They got off 2 or 3 blows.
Personal foul. Number 54 to the defense. First down.
I like the fact that Anderson got up and slugged back.
Yes.
You got to do that as a running back, don't you?
Blows to the side of the helmet, which never have any effect. San Francisco 7-3 now over Atlanta as Mazzetti might be back on the track. First down Cardinals at their own 41, and Hart drops again. And throws deflected by D.D. Lewis, intended for Mel Gray in the direction of Aaron Mitchell, who is covering Mel.
D.D. had a 16-yard drop back in there. Brunig had dropped over 16. The linebackers, of course, they don't have a big turnover at linebacker here. If you're their linebacker once, you're their linebacker forever sometimes.
Thomas Henderson is in a running battle conversation with the Cardinal bench and doing something that resembles taunting.
That's a foul.
Not if you do it toward the bench. 22-13. Cowboys over the Cardinals with 2:40 left to play, and Hart goes back again. Mel Gray spun around and had it momentarily. Aaron Mitchell on the coverage.
The ball was right in there. Great throw, and Mel Gray was already thinking about up the sidelines. He's got to catch this football. Great receiver, great play here. Again, Mitchell gave him a lot of room, which is wise. Let's see what number 56 is doing. The delayed blitz. Anderson, with the toe hold, throws him over.
Fun and games, and as Henderson leaves now, with the toe bothering him, he limps off. Mike Hegman will take his place. Then Guy Brown. Hart lofting for Tilley. Aaron Mitchell on the coverage right with him. And Hart Dede Lewis having his fingers bandaged. Bob Young limps off on the Cardinal sideline. Jim Hart comes off with a frustrated stride, and Steve Little will enter. No, Hart's going to stay. It will not be Little.
There's Big Bob Young. He did some of that world's strongest men stuff. And, you know, at 290, he's as strong as some of those mastodons that weigh 370.
A good guard for a long time. Fourth down. Cardinals try again. I believe that pass was caught. Diving catch by, I'm not sure if it was Childs or Gray.
I mean, Thornton was breathing right down Jimmy Hart's neck. Watch number 77 show up just as he cuts it loose. That's Bethea, I believe.
Right, it is Bethea.
Good pass rush.
First down, Cardinals. That pass was complete. To Childs it was. Aaron Mitchell on the coverage.
Has Jim been going on the quick count a lot? Looks to me like a long count might get an offsides. That's that Thomas Henderson down like that?
Yes, it is. He's got a knee or got cramps. Tilly has it. Knocked out of bounds by Aaron Mitchell. And Mitchell in a little scuffle. Dorsett up in the middle of the action. One of the cameramen got knocked down. One of the still cameramen, not ours, got knocked down in that fracas.
Would you say tempers are rather frayed?
I would say.
They started banging each other, and a St. Louis-Dallas game is that way. In fact, anybody who plays St. Louis better be prepared to defend themselves.
Dorsett was down looking at the pack.
Here's Pat Tilley, who had 62 catches a year ago. Great little receiver. He's only about 170 pounds with those great hands. He doesn't have overpowering speed. And he and Mitchell get into it a little bit.
Tilly stuck the ball in Mitchell's face after he gave a little extra effort.
No wonder Too Tall Jones thinks he can fight.
We could have a chance here if we wanted. Although the clock shows a minute 55, the 2-minute notification has been given to the two coaches, Landry and Bud Wilkinson. Dallas leads it 22-13. Thomas Henderson is upright. Hurt his back.
Lumbago.
See a piece of work.
And the main thing is he really plays good football.
That is the main thing. None of that would be very wise or very funny if he didn't play well. They're at the 24 are the Cardinals. 22-13 the score. Dallas leads 155. Hart. Dave Steep, the intended receiver, and he comes out. Pat Tilley goes back in.
The last catch was Tilley's first catch. Tight end now would be so important to have, really an integral part of your offense, to have a tight end like a Krepley or a DuPree or some of those around the league. And right now St. Louis does not have that.
Russ Francis.
No.
Here comes Gray in motion. Aaron Mitchell follows him on the other side. And Otis Anderson barrels his way down inside the 15. He's hit in the back by Randy White and Harvey Martin, I believe.
Everybody around the league says you can perhaps try to jump outside on Anderson, and he will sort of run out of things to do. But the last couple of weeks, he's been turning it back inside and steaming straight ahead, running very hard.
20 carries, 105 yards. 3rd and 5. Ball's on the 19-yard line of Dallas. 1:39 left to play. Dallas 22, St. Louis 13. Hart. Mel Gray had it on the numbers between Aaron Mitchell and Dennis Thurman, but couldn't hang.
That's two. Jimmy's saying to himself, boy, you know, you can't knock a great receiver like Gray, but that's catchable. That's a touchdown catchable. Mel knows that he's a great Great competitor. He's played hurt so many times, it's not even funny.
4th down. Cowboy rushers will be Thornton, Stalls, White, and Martin, unless they bring some linebackers. And they do. Cliff Harris, Randy Hughes. Pass was intended for Pat Tilley. The Cowboys will take over, and that should do it. And what it should do for Dallas would be give them sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Philadelphia lost today. Their record goes to 6-2. Washington jumps to 6-2. Dallas would be 7-1.
That time Harris undressed Tilley in the end zone, and I can't figure out how he got away with it. But when you're a veteran like he is, the All-Pro, there's Tilley going on a swerve out and up. Let's see what happens as the throw gets there. Oh, I see. That's how he did it.
Dallas takes over then at their own 19 with 1:29 left to play. Dorsett and Newhouse behind Staubach. Gibbs to Newhouse. The Cardinal defense continues against the rush to play tough. Charlie Davis, the first tackler.
The NFC leading rusher will still be Walter Payton, by the way, in this win, in this game over Minnesota now. He has 102 yards, and he will end up with 884 yards. Young Anderson is now at the 760-yard level, but looks like he might move in there if Wilbert Montgomery didn't have an outstanding day against Washington.
And apparently he didn't. So it'll be 2nd down. Scott Laidlaw with Dorsett in the backfield, and Tony Dorsett gets the carry. And just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, and Roger Worley, who made the tackle, signals that the Cardinals would like to have a timeout with 42 seconds left to play. They have 1 left after this one.
Notice we never make a Worley call, right? It's because he's playing so smoothly. He's existed and not existed at the same time.
They just don't try to work against him.
Got to get the coach side.
That is Dorsett again. Clock still running now with 37 seconds to play. And again, the Cardinals call a timeout. Atlanta has gone ahead of San Francisco now 9-7. Second quarter score at Candlestick Park.
Bartkowski just hit Alfred Jenkins with a 7-yard pass.
And they missed another extra point, I guess.
They're having a little bit of a problem.
Having problems with that. Bob Stenner produced our broadcast. He, like the rest of us, enjoys the Texas hospitality here in this facility.
The salt will really get you down here, though, you know.
Director Sandy Grossman. And thank you, Sandy. And thank the rest of the crew.
And all the nachos you can eat for the rest of your life.
Boy, what a present that would be.
That's the truth.
4th down, Dallas. Danny White back in punt formation. Roy Green deep. No timeouts left for St. Louis now, so they'll stop the clock on this next exchange. Ooh, good kick, chases Roy Green way back inside his own 15 to the 14. Doug Cosby is down on the coverage, and the flag is down on the opposite side of the field. Jay Saldi made the tackle. Cosby made him commit.
Dallas, Pittsburgh.
Next week.
Two teams do not like one another even a little bit.
And I think I know why.
The owners are good friends. Mr. Murchison and Mr. Rooney get along.
Was that we were told the last time Dallas lost an artificial turf out of town was to Pittsburgh.
76, was it?
Right. 77, I think. The last time they were up there.
Personal foul on the defensive team on the return.
Personal foul.
First down, Reds.
Just checking the rest of next week's schedule. Cleveland will be at St. Louis. Browns came from behind to defeat Cincinnati today.
And we're just halfway.
Looking forward to a great second half of the season. 3-man rush by Dallas. Harvey Martin on the right. Randy White on the left. Stalls in the middle. Hard fires. It'll go out of bounds. The clock will stop with 14 seconds left to play. Mel Gray, the intended receiver.
I enjoyed your interview with Bob Hayes at halftime very much.
Thank you. Bob, of course, is in the middle of a very unfortunate period in his life, but he seems to have things in the right range.
Bill Capice, a junior from